All right, on today's show, Headliner Magic, what I'm going to be showing you is how we wrap these visors here. I think these are BMW visors, and they have to be sewn. So the way that you know if your visors need to be sewn is when you look on the material here, there'll be a little stitch there. And if you can move this material side to side like that, you see how that stitch is moving? If you can move that material side to side easy like that, back and forth, then that's sewn, because it's not tucked inside the visor itself. You can pull it out like that. You can see that's a sewn stitch. So normally I don't do those, just to let you know. But I had some people send me these visors, needed to get them done, so whipped out the old trusty sewing machine that and this is old school. I bought this machine from an old lady some years ago, but it's dang sure trusty. And it's a walking foot machine, sewing machine, so it's heavy duty. It's for sewing some heavy duty stuff. I think she used it for some leather jobs back in the day, like wallets or something like that. But here we are. And so what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna get ready to make a pattern from this old piece here. So I'm gonna strip this off of here, and we're gonna end up with a piece like this. Yeah. And I'm gonna use this to draw a pattern onto our material. So you guys stay tuned. It's Headliner Magic, and this is what we do. All right. All right, guys, so I'm back. Got a razor blade here. Gonna get ready to strip this material off of here. And what I like to do is actually start at the side here that is tucked in, and we'll just pull that out of there like so. There we go. Get that material just pulled out of there. All right, so now that I got that out of there, we can start looking at peeling that back. And I'm just gonna take this cap off. Well, I'll leave it on, it's not gonna hurt anything. But we'll get in here, and as you can see down on this end, it's wrapped around this corner little edge here. So we're gonna have to open this up just a little bit to be able to peel this thing off of there. And the other thing is this little clip here, we gotta remove that. Show you real quick how we do that. Now we're gonna take a pair of pliers, and we're just gonna grab it right as close as we can to the edge, because I've already painted this, but I don't wanna mess up my paint. And I'm gonna push this thing down and dislodge it. So that's what I did there, just dislodged it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out like so, and there it is. We'll set that to the side. All right, so now we got that off. Now we can get ready to slide this thing down and get it off. But first, I also gotta remove it out the edge of this mirror here. So like before, we just start pulling it out of there. They'll have a few little areas that we'll have to cut. You can see it's a little piece there. It's hanging on. It's flowing underneath the mirror to the other side. But we'll just take a pair of scissors, snip that little piece off of there like that. Come on around here, get ready to pull the rest of this off. Another piece is stuck under there. We'll just cut that off like so. Come on around, get that off of there. There we go. And there's that little long piece that's underneath there. We'll get that off of there. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim that off. So that way, we ain't gotta worry about that. So now we got that undone. We'll get ready to slide this little material off of there like so. And now we're all the way down to the end. Now, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and get that as far off as possible, so that way I can see what part I'm gonna have to snip and cut for us to be able to get that fully off of there. Okay. So So when you're looking at it, it's right, holding on right at the edge there. So what I'm gonna do is get me a little blade, and I'm just gonna open that up just a little bit. All right, so now I got it opened up enough that I can just slide it off of there. There we go. So I got my little, this is gonna be my pattern. So I'll set this to the side, get it out of my way. Yeah. And with this thing turned inside out, I'll flatten it out real nice. And now I'm ready to cut my pattern. Now one of the things that I like to remember about doing visors is that if you pull off a piece of skin like this and it already has the foam on it, then you want to go back with material that already has the foam on it. If you got a visor and it's got a thin layer of headliner material on it that doesn't seem to have any backing to it, or if you're going to put it over a piece and you're not going to pull the skin off, then you can just use the unfoam back material, which is a piece similar to this with no foam on it. It's just suede on one side and just the fabric on the other side. Just real thin. You can use that if you already got something that has a backing, foam backing to it, and you're not taking it off. So guys, since we already have our sample piece here, let's get a piece of suede out and let's cut us a pattern. I got a nice piece here. I've already cut one side of it there. I'm just gonna jump in here. Got my nice pattern here. I'm gonna lay it out. I'm just going to use a little marker, trace this thing out. Flip this thing over like this, nice and easy, so that way I can duplicate it on the other side as we're going to fold this thing together like a sandwich. See that, but I've drawn this thing out here, and next I'm going to take a razor blade and cut it out. So first I'm going to just cut it real wide real quick so I can get this excess off the table. I'm left with a nice little pattern here. So you can see that. I don't know if you can see the lines there, but I'm going to trace it out real quick. got. So we got our foam side, there's our suede side. So now we'll sandwich this thing together like that, just to make sure that it's all proportioned and looking pretty even here. Okay. It's not totally even, but it's good enough for government work. All right. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna reverse it, and then we're gonna tape this thing up. Now we're gonna use some masking tape to lay out the edges that we're gonna be sewing. And what that's gonna allow us to do is control the foam, because this is a stretch suede. We don't wanna be running it through the machine and it starts to bunch up. So we're gonna use some masking tape to allow it to stay straight as we're sewing it. All right, so flip it over and do the same thing there. All right. So now we got all of our sides done that we need to get done. I'm gonna trim this up a little bit. All right, so now it's time to get sewing. Got that all sewn up. So I'm gonna trim off the little extra here, so that way I don't have too much bunch stuff inside there when I flip it, turn it inside out. And then we're gonna get it started on the install. That's it. Then we'll flip it inside out. So you guys, there we got it. We have a nice little boot, and this is the little opening that we'll use to feed this piece through. So I sewed it all the way to one end here, and then I sewed it from here to here and left this little opening that we'll be able to stretch and put over that little piece there. So you guys stay tuned. It's coming together. All right, guys, so these little corners are very difficult. I shouldn't say very difficult, but you gotta have a little technique to it. So what I'm gonna be showing you is how you use a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, and the tuck tool to lift up one side and use your screwdriver to lift up one side of the corner, and then you tuck it in with the other side. Check it out. All right. So I got my screwdriver in here, as you can see, and I'm just gonna take the tip of it and turn it just a little bit to allow it to lift up that corner. It uses the blade to lift it up. And then I'll move it down here a little bit, do the same thing, so I can, that way it allow me to get it lifted up just enough to get that material tucked up under that edge. I'm gonna move down to this end, do the same technique, tuck it in there nice and pretty. All right. Yeah, you can see that jokers look real nice. Real nice, real nice. It's Headliner Magic, and this is what we do.